Oh, can I have that piece of paper before you drop it?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, cool.
I said I'll just be right back. I know I said that earlier, but I was gonna hold up the fucking piss for like 45 minutes now. I forgot to pee while I was over at Burger King because I was too busy dealing with my sister's emotional problems. So relieving my bladder is one thing I did not get to do. What's that? What's that?
I'm glad you said relieving your bladder.
Right. That's fine, okay.
Alright.
I'll be right back.
One of the things that we were talking about is people's drug use out here, and of course reliability of those people. And we were also discussing how they're still human beings, and he said, a lot of them aren't, and I understand that sentiment, and many of you do as well. A lot of the people who offered to help me, understandably with their addiction issues, they weren't going to be able to. And also because of many of their addictions, they were not able to mentally process the fact that they were not able to. There's also the desperate situation that I eventually ended up in, where I'm basically scrambling for anybody who will listen and anyone who will look. There's things that I was called a liar for saying, so I need to get other people to verify it and turn it in with me, and that's the most important part. Turning it in with somebody who's a drug addict it's not going to work out well. Now, there's a few names that I wanted him to verify that those names were in fact and indeed in the news, and why. And also, we went through the articles. I don't expect him to remember every name because there's literally hundreds, but the evidence of it is true. So we went through individual names so that I could show him the names on the list, and then I showed him the news articles about them, and that way he could at least verify that those news articles exist and what they were in trouble for while we're still here in town with internet. And then when we get up to the mountains, he's going to do a lot of the manual labor part, which is good, and I'm going to go through some of my paperwork, and then hopefully he'll be able to take some time out and we'll do some paperwork and rest up a bit. As long as, there aren't any major issues with people's drug use, I still need the help, whether they're on drugs or not. Now, with my safety issues here, there's a lot that goes into it that I haven't been able to fill him in on yet. Today was actually the first day where he was trying hard not to talk over me. And that's something I do want to mention. He was trying hard. If you go back through with the conversations between myself and Miss Peaches, you notice at the very beginning she wasn't very good at listening at all. But later on she started to learn to listen better. And it's unfortunate that she didn't learn to listen better until after Natalie was dead and after she'd been dead for about 8 months. I got a whole bunch of little short snipes. I'm gonna smoke them. And hopefully Alexander's all right. Sometimes when people go up the mountains like that, they have to get prepared mentally to go do it. A lot of times, you know, one person's experience might be different than others. There's also the stuff that I have panic attacks about and why. People who are on drugs or alcohol are scary. For you guys, it's us out here on the streets that are the scariest. For us, it's the addicts in houses who offer nice things that scare us the most. Out of desperate people on the streets, you know what to expect. You know that even your best friend on the streets might get desperate, steal your stuff, and go have a bump. Or he might take advantage of your disability money. Now, here's the thing about Alexander. When he says he's trying to keep his word, he is at least trying. I can at least vouch for that. He tries to be true to his word. I haven't gotten to show him all of the violence and stuff. Like, I just showed him a couple articles. I have shown him a little bit of some of the videos before. But I'm going to try to get him to verify this stuff a few people at a time. Right now, I want him to be able to verify the news articles about these people. And then I also want to have him later on, when I'm up in the mountains, I'll have him verify the paper evidence with these people's names in it. And hopefully we'll be able to get him so that he's up to date and educated on what the mandated reporter laws are, what the mandated reporters are supposed to do. You can come in. I'm not going to bite you. I don't have any teeth.
I just injured the fuck out of my leg, dude. I wasn't paying attention and I walked off the edge of that fucking edge back there.
Injured or hurt?
Injured, but I hurt my leg, I guess what to say.
If it's injured, we got to take you to the hospital.
Well, it's not injured, but I hurt it, yeah.
All right. I do make a distinction there. If you just hurt it, then you can walk it off or rest it off. If you're injured, you have to be taken to the hospital. No ifs, ands, or buts. Anyway, I guess I should start off with the names here that are on the list. Since he got to see, verifying that he got to see the article. And all right, my little sister Tara was having her life threatened, and my niece's life threatened, and police were following her. I did get to show Alexander that earlier today, so he put a star next to it showing that. Am I incorrect? It's verified. All right. So, also, Officer Wales Molotai Boulder. I showed that he was in trouble for multiple assaults in multiple jurisdictions, and also that there was multiple lawsuits that people had won against him. And he put a star next to that one. Am I incorrect about that, or is that?
The stars are my that means they're all checked off.
Yep. The next one on the list is Sarah Nelson. She was arrested for sexual assault.
And her star's over here. One of them's over here too. It's the same star though.
Yep. Michelle DeCini, sexual assault. She was also an officer at the same facility. And then Michelle Quinn, she assaulted her girlfriend. She was the Garden County Sheriff, and he was able to verify that. And then there's Polly Olson with what she was doing and committing in Dual County. And these are all people with the exception of Waylon Lolatai. All the rest of these names are in connection with Sheriff Scott DeCosto, Chapel, Nebraska. He sent me on a tour for telling on him. So what I'm going to do when I'm up in the mountains is I'm also going to have him verify the evidence that I have in paper evidence. Also, there's a lot of people here in Oregon who have personal experiences with drugs and alcohol addictions, having friends that are addicted. Oh, thank you. And also the reliability of people who are on drugs. Some of their reasons for not coming through, a lot of their fears. Me and Alexander did have a pretty good conversation about that earlier. People really are afraid. My little sister's not the only one. Oh, it's right here.
Hey, buddy.
Alright, I guess I'll hand it to you and let you explain a little bit. When we get over by the center market, I'll probably turn it off when I go in. That way we can do the speedometer thing so we know how fast we're going. But that'll give you a couple of minutes talking too.
So you want me to just talk about like the shit that's going on here in Tillamook, like?
Yep. Well, not just necessarily here in Tillamook, but also the experiences with drug addicts and, their reliability and why. And, of course, the appropriate or inappropriate nature of who they've been sending me to do their jobs when it goes to mandated reporters. I mean, really, between a police officer and a homeless tweaker, the police officer is the one who's a mandated reporter, not a homeless tweaker that nobody wants to listen to. And
Yeah,
even
it's
if
not a
it's a
homeless
homeless
tweaker's
person
job to
who's
report
not a
shit like
homeless
that.
tweaker, do what?
It's not a homeless tweaker's job to report shit like that. It's the police officer.
Exactly. And that's the thing that sucks, is that they're
That's
basically
why they have to
sending,
write reports.
but they don't. I shouldn't say that. You were talking about your own experiences with some of that earlier, so I suppose I should probably let you do that.
I mean, they can write up a report, but it's not necessarily it's not necessarily that the report is written up correctly.
And it's definitely not, with the reports I've had, it's not reports of anything that I was telling them. That's one of the things with Claire Jordan.
That's what I mean. They don't write it up correctly.
When they, I found her, I actually called her number up, and she got a hold of me, and we had a conversation about some of the stuff here, and her fears, and how they treated her at the, what do they call that place? The homeless shelter here, Helping Hands?
Yeah. It's not a homeless shelter, but it's a...
But she recorded a lot of stuff too, so I'm hoping to work together with her when I get back down the mountain. Oh, here's the phone. It's
She'll be
recording
coming
now.
down the mountain. Here she comes.
Yep. But go ahead, I guess I'll let you ramble while I go drive us somewhere to get cigarettes.
Well, I guess a lot of the shit is happening right now. With my experience with the tweakers here, specifically in Tillamook, and being unreliable, is like they're just not good enough people to help you, because they're drugs, and they're just focused on using you for your money or whatever they can get out of you, just so they can get their drugs. Like, they'll say they'll help you or whatnot, and they just don't, because they don't care. And that's fucked up, because like people like with Sean, he needs help a lot, and the fact that people like that need that help and are like, I don't want to say begging, but they're pleading for it and just not able to get it because these people are promising him that they'll help him, and just repeatedly not coming through at all. It's not okay, and I'm not about that kind of shit. Like, people need to realize that when someone needs that help, instead of turning them down and denying that help to them, they should help them at all costs, because if he's going out of his way, to make it obvious that he needs that help, don't ignore that ever. Never ignore when somebody needs help. Especially when they're begging and pleading for it, because obviously they need it.
Now, a lot of the stuff with me being sent around in circles by these services, is that your experience with most of them, or is that a common experience here?
Yeah, a lot of experiences like that, like you're having, is a lot of what happens with different people around here. They get sent around in circles and just get redirected because certain branches like law enforcement and shit just don't want to do their job, and so they'll put it off for somebody else to do instead of doing it themselves like they're supposed to. And that's just not cool, because like a police officer, if he's supposed to write up a report, he's supposed to write a report, not say he's gonna and not do it, because then literally there was no help to be given. That person thinks that the officer did the job he's supposed to do, when in reality, if he did write up a report, he just tore it up, threw it away. And there's a lot of corruption in this town right now, and there probably has been for a long time standing. But I'm noticing a lot more and more lately. Like these cops aren't bothering to do their jobs at all, and not just specifically with the cops. Like besides for the fact, like with other mandated reporters and shit, like anybody who's a mandated reporter should stop and help somebody out when they need their help to report something. Right, most of the mandated reporters around here, they don't even care. They just basically tell you to fuck off and figure it out on your own, and that's not cool at all.
Now, when it comes to that whole manning up thing, what do you consider manning up?
Taking the time to actually stop and help somebody when they need it, that's manning up. Owning up to your own shit when you need to own up to it. Like, being there for somebody, like when they need you most, that's manning up. Apologizing about something because, like, for instance, me, like when I wasn't able to make it to help you a few different times, I apologized like a man and explained my situation as to why I wasn't able to show up. And
you also didn't try to hide it.
Yeah, I didn't try to hide it either. And that's to me, that's what being a man is. Yeah, that's manning up right there. Showing that you're trying to be there for that person, but life gets in the way so much sometimes. It just fucks us around.
It does. Now, if there's a situation where somebody who's a friend or family member here, even if they are on drugs, if they're being hurt over something that isn't true, are you going to come forward about the fact that what's said isn't true?
Yeah, I would.
But most people don't.
Yeah, they just ignore it and brush it off like it's nothing. That's not cool at all. If somebody needs something to be said or be reported about or be, brought out about something not being true, they should, come forward and, like you said, man up about it and, admit what's going on and, help out in any way they can.
Now, the longer it takes to turn something in, the more likely it is that the predator is going to get away, and the more desperate people get into. Now, when it comes to the drug use out here, how many of these people do you think are doing these things just because they're unhappy, and how many of them do you think were traumatized into situations where they didn't have many other options?
Well, most of them out here are probably, traumatized and were forced into because they didn't have any other option. And being a drug addict on top of it doesn't help at all either. I mean, like all these homeless people out here, a lot of them are homeless because of their own mess ups in life, their own fuck ups, and because and most of them are mad as fuck at themselves and mad as fuck at life because the fact that they can't admit, what it is that they did wrong to become homeless.
Do what? Oh, it absolutely can. Let me run in and grab a pack of cigarettes.
I might have roadside assistance. It's on one of my phones, and my kid was using it. I probably could have got a couple of people's, but
Where's your car at?
right there, it's been there. They were gonna. I told them I'd be back by 7, but I overslept and I walked by today, and then I gotta. Can I get a ride back to the house? Yes. And I gotta ride downtown. So
What the fuck is
I
she
don't know if
listening
that's what it
to?
needs,
Not sure.
but I haven't.
Sounds
talked to
stupid.
him yet.
Well, I can give you a jump. Do you have cables?
Yeah, that's all I need. Who knows? Again, I think
I can get this done for you. I know what to do.
roadside assistance, but I'm not sure.
I'm all the roadside assistance you'll need.
Yeah, she's one of the ladies who's been thrown around through the loop too.
Yeah, she gets fucked off a lot. And a lot of people that are, they try to push her aside because they say she's just crazy rambling. Listen to what she's saying. It's actually, important shit.
Yeah, trauma does that to people. And that's one of the things that's scary. Like for me, I gotta understand the difference between a trauma reaction and somebody who's strung out.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get a pack of smokes.
Okay.
You want me to end the video or?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, y'all have a good day now, and it's nice talking to you.
Yep, I'm sorry for being rude. I kind of shoved it on him as soon as he got back to the car. All right, let's do ourselves.